Now at 5, the last of 9 suspects in a 2020 Oklahoma murder case pleads guilty. Plus, KCU Joplin gives local 5th graders a chance to get health screenings. And
tech titans are huddling with lawmakers and even critics over artificial intelligence. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with the push to develop legislative guardrails over the growing technology.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Webb City, Missouri man is the last of multiple defendants to plead guilty in a case that involved an abduction in Joplin and a murder in Oklahoma. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. 29-year-old Trey Ackerson pleads guilty to second-degree murder for killing 35-year-old Jolene Campbell in July of 2020. He could get up to life in prison. 8 other people have already pleaded guilty to various crimes in this case, including intimidating witnesses. We're going to have more details on KOAM News at 6 and on our website. Of course, that's KOAMNewsNow.com. Another nice day out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it definitely turned out to be a great day for us today. Temperatures fantastic again, upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And that's where we sit right now, 79, Nevada 78, Anderson 78, and Welch. Chanute is sitting at 79 degrees. And look at the entire Central Plains. Nobody's hot. Everybody's getting nice fall-like temperatures across the region. We do have a lot of clouds kind of skirting through. So tonight we have a weak wave passing to our south. So that's going to give us some clouds across the region. But besides that, we look pretty good. We slide back through the 70s, 60s, into the mid 50s once again a little bit later on tonight. Of course, we're going to look at the rest of the week, high school football weather, next chance for rain, all coming up here in just a bit.
Catch you then. KCU Joplin today provided free health assessments to local elementary school students. 5th grade kids from Kelsey, Norman, McKinley, and Irving elementary schools participated in Score One for Health. The preventative health screening program includes dental, blood pressure checks, and physical assessments. For many second-year medical students, this was their first time being face-to-face with real live patients.
But there's nothing in medicine like really learning how to do that with a live person. And so they are learning, they are also giving. And the kids, I hope, are learning and they are also giving. So it's a really neat exchange.
It's more interesting and they don't use big words as much, so you can understand them better.
If a medical student were to see something concerning about their patients, clinical faculty is available to offer support. Special Olympics Kansas today hosted a first-of-its-kind event in Columbus. The Seniors Unified Olympics aims to get everyone moving. Special Olympics athletes 45 years old and older are paired with senior citizens to explore various activities. Volunteer high school students assist the teams and cheer them on.
I feel like the goal of today is just movement, inclusion, socialization, and just to kind of get out of the house a little bit for a day and spend some time with some friends.
Special Olympics Kansas partnered with Compass and Medical Lodges for that event. Lawmakers called together some of the leading artificial intelligence designers, ethicists, and public policy experts for an all-day forum on the pros and cons of the emerging technology and what Congress's role should be in regulating it. Reporter Skyler Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
Tech giants Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and others arrived on Capitol Hill for a closed-door discussion with lawmakers about how to move ahead with artificial intelligence.
It was a very civilized discussion, actually, among some of the smartest people in the world.
The point of the forum was to hear from nearly 24 of the leading AI innovators about how the government can create legislation that allows AI to thrive while putting guardrails in place to prevent potential catastrophes. Tesla CEO Elon Musk was among those talking about the risks that AI poses to humanity.
This meeting may go down in history as being very important for the future of civilization.
There did appear to be broad support for some kind of regulatory oversight of AI.
I think it's really important that the government does put sensible policy in place. This is obviously a super powerful technology and really important to get right.
While nearly everyone agreed that Congress has a role to play, they also agreed that it'll be hard to legislate AI because it's such a fast-growing industry making advances every day.
You want to be able to maximize the benefits and minimize the harms. and that will be our difficult job.
Even if lawmakers can create legislation, it still has to pass through a sharply divided Congress.
This was a bipartisan effort. The idea here was to educate as many of our members as we possibly could, and we had some great teachers in there.
More than 60 senators attended the forum, but some skipped it, protesting the fact that the forum wasn't open to the public. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The European Union was the first to create artificial intelligence regulations when it passed the AI Act back in June. Authorities in Pennsylvania have finally captured an escaped inmate, ending what officials there have called a nightmare over the past 2 weeks. Danilo Cavalcante was captured in a rural part of Chester County around 8 o'clock this morning. Comes 14 days after he scaled the prison walls and took off. Still ahead, strike concerns take the stage at an auto show.
The newest vehicles and the latest automotive technology is on display at the North American Auto Show here in Detroit. I'm Chris Van Cleve, but hanging over all of it is the potential of an auto worker strike as soon as Friday. The latest coming up.
And next in Health Watch, how the Biden administration is moving forward with its Cancer Moonshot initiative. Topping today's Health Watch, President Biden has unveiled new efforts to accelerate his administration's Cancer Moonshot initiative. Today, he announced additional investments in research to find new treatments to ultimately a cure. Reporter Natalie Brand spoke to a researcher receiving one of the new grants.
For President Biden, who lost his son Beau to brain cancer in 2015, finding a cure is personal.
We sort of gave up on the notion that we could cure cancer. Everything we've ever put our mind to, we've been able to do.
On Wednesday, the president and first lady met with the administration's cancer cabinet, announcing $240 million in additional investment this year to prevent, detect, and treat cancer. That funding will be handed out to researchers by a new federal agency known as ARPA-H, dedicated to advanced research projects for health.
They really have a focus on high risk, high reward.
Professor Philip Santangelo and his team at Emory University in Georgia were the first to receive funding through this new effort.
We wanted to design drugs that were personalized, because every tumor is different, everyone's disease is a little different too, but then that would allow us to basically turn the immune system up or tune the immune system down when necessary.
The administration is also announcing a new effort to speed up clinical trials for cancers and other diseases, and also step up efforts to reach underserved communities nationwide.
There is this sort of bottleneck that even if you come up with really exciting scientific discoveries, how do we really get them into the clinic? How do we do this faster than we've been doing it?
Do you think we'll see a cure for cancer?
I think we're going to have cures for specific types of cancer, but I would say we should hopefully have far more cures for specific types of cancer.
The administration's Cancer Moonshot initiative hopes to accelerate that, with a goal of cutting the death rate by at least half by 2047. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Almost everywhere we go, whether it's meeting with folks at local events or meeting with world leaders.
In the country. FDA advisors say a leading ingredient found in popular versions of over-the-counter cold medicine is ineffective in treating a stuffy nose. The advisors say medicine with the drug phenylephrine, like Sudafed, Benadryl, and others, do not improve congestion. Phenylephrine is different than pseudoephedrine used in the original versions of Sudafed and other medicines. Those drugs were moved behind the pharmacy counter because they can be illegally made into methamphetamines. Not all dust is equal. French researchers found certain combinations of bacteria found in the dust of daycare centers increase the risk of respiratory symptoms among young children. Scientists now hope to learn about what factors influence the bacterial makeup and how best to keep a healthy environment. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our Pet Vet On Call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about grieving for a lost pet.
Plus another chilly night for us tonight. Also some rain chances. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be another nice day for us today. Temperatures upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And we're slowly going to increase those temperatures just a bit as we go through the next few days. Allergies still high, ragweed being the main one. So on a scale of 1 to 12, today's a 9, about the same tomorrow, 8.8 out of 12. It looks great. Look at this shot, nice shot. Indigo sky, casino and resort, of course. We have some mid and upper level clouds which are streaming through, but overall it is looking pretty good. Look at our temps, mid to upper 70s to near 80 once you get out across southeastern Kansas, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. But 7th and range line looks great. Visibility is fantastic. The winds are light. Humidity is sitting at about 30%. Through the evening, if you want to get outside, it looks great. We slide back through the 70s into the 60s and eventually into the mid 50s later on tonight. So very similar to what we have had over the past couple nights. Let's go outside. You can see those mid and upper level clouds kind of streaming through, but thicker once you get down through Oklahoma and back through the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. Here's a weak wave. This is going to stay to our south, meaning the rain, but we are going to get some of these clouds kind of skirting through as we go through the overnight hours. Let's go east. We have Hurricane Lee well off the coast of Florida, but this is actually going to track north and affect areas from Boston into Maine as we go through the next few days. So, of course, nationally, we're going to be keeping our eyes on Lee. Here's our next wave. You can see the ripple in the upper level flow. This wave will start to affect us as we head into the weekend. So ahead of it, we return into the 80s. High school football weather looking pretty good. A few showers in the forecast for Saturday, but Sunday is shaping up pretty well. But of course, we could use any bit of rain that we can get. Let's step through time for you tonight. Look at the clouds, especially our southern counties. Low to mid 50s, overnight lows. As we go through the morning hours, we warm into the mid 70s by noon, and then we'll go to about 4:30 in the afternoon. Most of us right around 80. 81 Stockton, 78 Anderson, 80 in Veneta, Chanute, up to 79 degrees. Clearing out tomorrow night, back into the upper 70s to near 60 for Friday morning. And then Friday looks pretty good, partly sunny, right around 80 degrees once again. And then as we go into the evening hours, we're going to get a few more clouds in here and then chances for a few showers by the time Saturday rolls around. Here's your day planner tomorrow. 59 in the morning, 75 by noon, 79 by 4 p.m. High temp right around 80 degrees. And of course, let's jump into Friday night. High school football looking pretty good. Temperatures are going to be dropping through the 70s, but really for football weather, sounds pretty good. All right, 80 tomorrow, 82 on Friday, 81 on Saturday with a few showers, but Sunday looks good, 84. We do warm mid to upper 80s next week, but better chances for rain and more widespread starting Tuesday through next weekend.
Boy, we need the rain and highs in the 80s. We're not going to complain about that.
No, it's pretty good, actually.
Thanks, Jeff. Coming up, the latest inflation report is out. We're going to see what prices are up and which ones are down. Topping today's Consumer Watch, new government data shows the inflation rate continues to climb. Gas and oil prices were a big reason why overall inflation rose at an annual rate of 3.7% in August. That's a jump from July and June. However, when you strip away energy costs, the latest report shows prices for many items we buy are easing, including at the grocery store. Milk, for example, is down 3.5% from a year ago. Bacon has dropped more than 6%, and eggs, they've plummeted more than 18%. The North American International Auto Show got underway today in Detroit, but overshadowing this year's show is a possible strike by the United Auto Workers Union. The current contract with Detroit's 3 automakers expires late tomorrow night. Chris Van Cleve reports from Detroit.
From the new GMC Acadia to Ford's new F-150, Detroit's big 3 automakers showed off their newest models as the annual North American International Auto Show gets underway. But looming over the event is a possible strike by the United Auto Workers, threatening to bring production to a halt. The union's contract with Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis expires late Thursday, something car makers didn't want to talk about.
How concerned are you that a strike could slam the brakes on that progress?
Well, we're not really going to talk about the strike today. Obviously, we've got a great team working to try and get an amicable solution.
Ford CEO said Tuesday night the company made its most generous offer to the UAW in 80 years, including pay increases, but he ruled out a 32-hour work week.
Still optimistic that we'll get a deal, but there is a limit.
The union went into negotiations also seeking a 40% raise and reversing concessions made during the Great Recession. The head of the UAW says the companies need to get serious.
The CEOs gave themselves a 40% pay increase over the last 4 years. Our members deserve a hell of a lot better than where they are.
The United Auto Workers Union is leaning towards a targeted strike strategy where they would hit select plants that make key components to some of the automakers' most profitable vehicles.
There'll be factories like a pickup truck plant, there are several of them that are hugely profitable and start to hit the bottom line for the companies.
The negotiations come as the automakers posted a combined $164 billion in profits over the past decade. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Detroit.
Air travel is going to likely be cheaper this fall than it was over the summer. A report from travel booking app Hopper shows prices are already down for early autumn. Plus, the time from September through October is cheaper in general. And the Federal Reserve predicts the post-pandemic travel surge is winding down. Those factors have airlines decreasing travel prices to Europe by around 30%. The air traffic controller shortage that's been blamed for several recent travel disruptions isn't going to end anytime soon. According to Trade Association Airlines for America, it's going to take at least 5 to 7 years. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says the U.S. is currently short about 3,000 controllers. Airlines for America calculates even if the Federal Aviation Administration hires everyone who goes through its academy, there's still going to be shortage for years. Our Pet Vet on Call next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, when Hurricane Lee could make landfall in the U.S. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on health screenings for 5th graders provided by KCU Joplin. Plus, Missouri Southern gets a new designation from the State Board of Higher Education. And Missouri Southern's golf team takes home the top prize in its first tournament of the year. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Owning a pet can bring a lot of joy, but sometimes also some heartache. Today's question for our Pet Vet on Call: do you have any advice for dealing with the grief of a pet's death?
Oh gosh, not really any good advice, except that it takes time. Take the time. Grieve however it is you grieve for as long as you need. Me, I cry until my tears run dry. And then talk to people. Talking about it makes things feel better, and eventually time will ease your pain. But another pet will heal your heart really fast. Get out there, rescue, adopt. You won't be disappointed.
We invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. Look at that. From the Joplin Humane Society, we have Hera. The shelter says she's a 1 to 2 year old female husky with a lot of energy and some wide eyes. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we also have wide-eyed Estelle. She's a 1-year-old female short hair. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Good evening. To get outside and play with the pets or maybe take them for a walk?
Yeah, it looks fantastic. We're going to drop back through the 70s, 60s, eventually into the mid-50s later on tonight. Very similar tomorrow, right around 80. 82 on Friday, a few showers on Saturday. Better chances for rain by about the middle of next week and heating up just a little bit more.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.